Yeah, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the IoT class. Now, in a last class, we are discussed the M2M typical solutions, and I have told you how an M2M will be there. Machine to machine automation design will be there, where we are not using any internet there, but within a particular area, there will be a boundary for an M2M typical solutions. And I have given an example of an intelligent part, how the intelligent part automatically it will with the sensor value how it will activate this one means pumping of a motor. Once the water is sufficient, then automatically the pumping of a water will be stopped with the sensor value. So that I have told you that how a boundary will be fixed without the intervention of a humans, how a machine will communicate with another particular machine. So that we had discussed. In that especially we had discussed that how an M2M device which will be there, which will interact always with the asset that is outside the world, whatever your asset may be, the thing, for example, whatever experiment on which you are doing that machine. So that machine you are connecting with the M2 M device, and then that device then it will be connected to the network, and then it will be connected to an conceptual means observations or an outputs. Then afterwards it will be done with an application. Then application will give the yield to the enterprise. So that we had discussed in last class, one by one we have discussed, and we have discussed the difference between M2M and an IoT. Initially, in a first class, I have told you how an IoT, what is IoT architecture and all. Then we have discussed the differences between the M2M and an IoT. So later on, we have gone the main topic that is M2M towards IoT that we are discussing. So with that particular concept, now we'll move further. I'll share the PPT. Just a minute. Yeah. Right. Yes. Now, yeah, we have started a last class here. As I told you that M2M device will be connected always to a set with the sensing and actuations, and in turn it will be connected to the network, and afterwards service enablement will be done, what service it has to do. As I told you, then application means what output you are expecting application. Then that application in turn will goes to the enterprise process. So that we had discussed in detail in a last class. And the key application areas of M2M machines also we have discussed, and I have given a many examples here about an home security and remote monitoring, especially when it comes to metering BESCOM. I have told you that prepaid machines, how you can make the things and all. So that we had discussed in a last class. Coming to then, as I told you that we have gone with a difference between M2M and IoT. So I have told you that M2M will have a boundary, and usually the communication will be embedded within a hardware, and internet is really it's not needed. It needs a network. Maybe it is a Wi-Fi or wired networks you can use to connect one machine with another machine within some particular area. So that limited integration options will be there in a M2M, but in IoT, it depends on IP, and especially the middle layer will be there. That, as I told you, that a board or node, what you are going to use, it will act like a sync node, and as well as it will act like a middleware which will connect to the cloud. For example, I have given that as an Raspberry Pi, Arduino board, whatever the things you are going to use. In the majority of the cases, devices require an active internet connection, and unlimited integration options will be there here. So you can enlarge the things into the different areas, and you can make them also vendors. So another important topic we have discussed in a last class, that is the M2M towards IoT, the global context. So in this, as I told you, that the major three things will be there, that is mega trends, capabilities, and implications. What do you mean by this? See, if any existing thing is there, as I told, means from that existing state, if you want to convert to a new existing state, if you consider industry, if you consider any machine like that, so a trend should be there, a mega trend should be there. And I have given examples of BlackBerry, Pi, Nokia, also, that why these companies gone down. One time it's there in a top. Why? Because they have not made their trends, or they have not changed their trends. So while changing a trends means while making a move from one state to another state, what is the infrastructure capabilities that you have to look into? Means either I can do this with this existing capabilities, either add-on things is there, either it can be done with mine. I means with the capacity or with this capital investment. So that things will be there. Okay, once you have done all that particular things, you have converted, changed the state to the IoT technology, then what is the implication of that on the business? So these are the major things which one should study before going to convert the existing thing from an IoT technologies. Coming to in detail of this, as we have discussed in our last class also, this figure, as I told you, that it is like an Bible, or it is like an dictionary which for entire some 3 to 4 questions. So megatrends, for example, explain a megatrends which will be taken in consideration to move from M to M to IoT technology. So if they will ask the question like that, you have to answer based on this global game changers and the technology science. So that I have told you. Now global game changers, as I have told you, that who are those that because of this particular things, the change is required. The change will be there with this particular concepts. So coming to next, to change that particular state, what's the technology and science we may need? So that we are going to discuss in depth in this particular class. Now, global game changers. In that first, natural resource constraints. This also I told in the last class. That is, so the increasing lead to more with the less from raw materials to energy, water, or food. As I told you that because of the population increase, the raw materials are coming down. So utilization of raw materials will become more. So then what you are going to do with this? So use of the IoT to increase yields, productivity, and decrease the loss. So in the last class, I have told you, I have taken an example of an agriculture, and I have told you that if agriculture is keep on coming, means agriculture cultivation is keep on coming down from the last years, and still it will continue. And then what will be the cost of the vegetables and the food grains, which is must for a human life. So that we had discussed. Now coming to the next thing, that is an economic shifts. So this is another one important concept where it leads to the change. To overall economy is in a state of flux as it moves from the post-industrial era to a digital economy. Underline this. So post-industrial era to the digital economy. Once, I will tell you very clearly, what is this economic shifts? I will tell you one example. For example, once the factory is there, I will prepare a product and I will keep a product with me. The customer is to come to me, and then he will purchase, and then he will move. For example, I'll tell you in one stage, the Bahata company and Liberty company, shoes manufacturing company, footwear manufacturing company. These two are almost all the top companies in India. Means Bata. People used to search where is Bata showroom, where is Liberty showroom. They used to go there and they used to keep some standard rates and they will tell this is a fixed rates or no changes there, nothing like that and all. So once that time is there, so what happened next? The competitors in that particular field has been evolved more. So then the existence they should change. Means what is that? That means they should go for an advertising. They should come to the customer and they should show what is the advantages. They have offered them many discounts also like that. Now the business, almost all the business is going on with the for manufacturers or whoever the seller will be there. He has to come to the customer. How he will come to the customer? With the digital advertisements or digital marketing. This is a major issue today. Amazon, as you are seeing, Amazon and Flipkart, all these things are playing a major role. So then what will be the future? If you think another 5 years, after, always you have to think before 5 years, present and after 5 years. So then after 5 years, how it will be there? Is people will go to the customer, means they will go to the shopping, they will go to the stores or not? So that question arises, really, that question arises. Why? Because if you see the emerging, the hit of this particular online purchasing, so where everything will be there, guarantees will be there, quality assurance will be there, so everything is there. So then how a ordinary seller has to compete with this particular thing? How a brand fellow, means a manufacturer, has to come into the field? So how the next economy will be there? So this will call it as the economic shift. So one example of this is found in the move from product oriented to service oriented economics. This is very much important. Again, underline this. Once a stage is there like this, once if you prepare a product and if you give the product and it's okay. Now it's not like that. Once you prepare a product, you have to give the product, you have to give a service also. Then how way you are giving the service and what is a good way you are giving the service, on that basis your business will be there. This implies a lifetime responsibility of the product used in a service offering and will in many cases require the products to connected and contain embedded technologies for gathering data and information. This is another one important thing. So how you are making a service? For example, we will take one example here. When I purchased, when the first fridge, single door fridge, when I purchased, whenever the problem is LG, I will always will go with an LG products. I like LG products. So once I gone, the single door beside background coil will be there. So that is the first fridge which we have purchased for our house. So whenever a problem is there, so I should call the customer care. Then I should book the complaint. So then afterwards, meanwhile, if that customer care fellow is not lifting, I should call the dealer and I should ask him to place the complaint. Then after 48 hours, means after 2 days like that, a fellow used to come and he used to check. Sir, this has been gone in your fridge. Means some product, means some component has gone in your fridge. I didn't brought that component. So then what to do? Then I will tell the cost of the product is so and so, sir. If it means component is so and so, sir. If you want to change, yes, I want to change. Then he will tell again, I will go, sir, I'll come next day. Next day, you don't come, you will come in another day. And again, he will tell, I want to fix this. So like this, the days, you observe the days, how many days has been gone without refrigerator service in my house. So this is not so customer oriented. I also felt like that. Now recently we are having a fridge. Means last year or before last year we have purchased a two-door a big fridge. We have purchased 50 to 400 liters. We have purchased that. Then they have told that some new technology is there. What is the new technology? Now we are having a LG app. Customer service app is there. There, one option is there when you open a fridge, one wall, like means one small hole will be there. At that position, you open this app, that marker will be there. If you keep that there, automatically it will sense what is the problem in that particular refrigerator, and it will tell so and so problem is there in a refrigerator, and the complaint automatically it will be taken by the app, and the complaint will be registered, and I no need to call, they only call me and they will tell in your fridge so and so problem is there, we are going to come for a service on this, you will be available. Yes, I will be available. So now they know already what is the problem, so they will come with that particular component and they will replace. So within a 1 day maximum the work has been done. So assume the LG is not updated to that sense, that service, and it's there in the previous service stage, and other companies like Samsung, Whirlpool, they have adapted this type of a service oriented. Then which refrigerator you will purchase? Come on, answer, answer. See, especially IoT class, you should be interactive. Listening, listening, students. Surya, ಇದೆಯೇನೋ Surya, Naina, Varsha,
Yes, sir.
Naina
Yes, sir.
ಇದೆಯಾ?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
ವರ್ಷ
Yes,
ಸೂರ್ಯ
sir.
ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದಾನೆ?
ಅವನಿಲ್ಲ ಸರ್, ಅವ್ನು ಕಾಣ್ತಿಲ್ಲ.
ಕಾಣ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. ಇವನು ಪ್ರದೀಪ,
ಸರ್
ಪ್ರದೀಪ ಯಾವ ಫ್ರಿಡ್ಜ್ ಪರ್ಚೇಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀಯಾ?
ಎಲ್ ಜಿ ಸರ್.
ಎಲ್ ಜಿ ಅಪ್ಗ್ರೇಡೆಡ್ ನಾನ್ ಅಪ್ಗ್ರೇಡೆಡ್?
ಯಾವ್ದಾರ ಸರ್?
ಸರ್ವಿಸ್ ಅಪ್ಗ್ರೇಡ್ ಆಗಿದ್ರೆ ಒಳ್ಳೇದಾ, ನಾನ್ ಅಪ್ಗ್ರೇಡ್ ಆಗಿದ್ರೆ ಒಳ್ಳೇದಾ?
ಅಪ್ಗ್ರೇಡ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೇಕು ಸರ್.
ಅಪ್ಗ್ರೇಡ್ ಆಗಿರಬೇಕು, ರೈಟ್. So this is a one thing which we should means as a customer satisfaction. So there is a shift in a economy. Now again, if you continue with this particular thing, at the same time there are inflections in a global economy leadership. Economies across the global must handle the evolving nature of these forces as technology becomes increasingly embedded and more tasks automated. Countries need to manage this shift. Underline this, the countries should need to manage this shift and ensure that M to M and IoT also create a new jobs and industries. So this is another one important thing. Economic shift means if I move purely automated, even why the government should also involve in this. So any job loss will be there. So that also should be taken into the consideration. So that will be taken into consideration, and how a new job opportunities will be created. That also will be taken into the consideration. Now coming to the next thing, that is changing demographics. What is this? With increased prosperity, there will be a shift in the demographic structures around the world. Many countries will need to deal with an gain population without increasing economic expenditure. A result, IoT will need to be used, for example, to help provide assisted living and reduce costs in healthcare and emerging trends. So this is another one very important thing what is there. For example, assume that one hospital will be there, means one nursing home is there. So with that particular nursing home and all, if increasingly population and all, if they need to extend their structure, whatever building structure means bed capacity, they have to enlarge and all, it will be a huge economic expenditure. how they can manage this. They can manage with an IoT. How they can manage with an IoT? For example, they can make an online consultings and many small equipments with an IoT equipments they can use. They will keep in other place so where interaction will be done automatically with this particular building like that. So many changes they can adapt and they can solve this particular demographics problem. Coming to socio-economic expectations. So this is another one changer. The global emerging middle class results in increasing expectations to well-being and corporate social responsibility. Lifestyle and convenience will be increasingly enabled by technology as the same disruption and efficiency practices evident in industries will be applied within people's lives and homes as well. Now, how a trend is keep on changing, socio-economic. I will tell you one thing. Here you take an best example. Once a time, radio is there. How a radio to why TV has been came from TV nowadays. We have gone within a smart technologies. Even your TV should be in a smart TV. Otherwise, you don't purchase. Why there is a change there? As a socio-economics, if you compare last 10 years, how our elders are they are having their lifestyle, and now how is the lifestyle of us, and now what will be the next 10 years, 5 years next, what will be the lifestyle. So based on the lifestyle of the human beings and their own styles, the industry should also change. Otherwise, they can't go with the expectations of that particular generation. This is very much important. So best example I tell you, you taken a dress style also. In last 10 years and all, if you observe a dress style and all, bell bottom pant, the t-shirt and all, you have been seeing that. Now, if I sell that particular thing, no one will purchase. So how a change should be there means why a change has been occurred. Now, whatever a trend is there, according to that trend, a garment manufacturer should move the things. So jeans, pants, t-shirts. So like that, whatever a trend is there, formal shirts, how it should look. So pant, how a normal formal pant should be there. If he manufactures in other style, no sale of that particular item will be there. So he should be there. Now coming in coming years and all, for example, I will tell you throne jeans. ಅರ್ಧ ಕಿಲೋ ಜೀನ್ಸ್ ಹಾಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ತೀರಲ್ವಾ ಒಂದು ಕಾಲದಲ್ಲಿ ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಅದನ್ನೇ 10 ವರ್ಷ ಹಿಂದೆ ಇಟ್ಟಿದ್ರೆ ಯಾರಾದ್ರೂ ತಗೊಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರ ನೋ ಒನ್ ವಿಲ್ ಪರ್ಚೇಸ್ ದಟ್. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ತಿದ್ಯಾ ನಾ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್? ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್, 10 ವರ್ಷ ಹಿಂದೆ ಅರ್ಧೋಗಿರೋ ಜೀನ್ಸ್ ಇಟ್ಟಿದ್ರೆ ಯಾರಾದ್ರೂ ತಗೊಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರ? ಅದ್ರ ಹೆಸರೇನು? ಥ್ರೋನ್ ಜೀನ್ಸ್. ಥ್ರೋನ್ ಜೀನ್ಸ್ ತಗೊಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರ ಯಾರಾದ್ರೂ? ತಗೊಳ್ತಾ ಇರ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಇವಾಗ ತಗೊಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಈಗ ಫ್ಯಾಷನ್, ರೈಟ್? ಸೊ ನೌ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಅ ಫ್ಯಾಷನ್. ಸೊ ದ ಕಂಪನಿ ಶುಡ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಚೇಂಜ್. ಇನ್ನು ಮುಂದೆ ಬರೋರು ಫುಲ್ ಅರ್ಧ ಹಾಕಿರೋವೆ ಹಾಕೊಳ್ತಾರೋ ಇನ್ನೇನ್ ಹಾಕೊಳ್ತಾರೋ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. ಫಾರ್ ದಟ್ ದ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಶುಡ್ ಬಿ ದೇರ್. So like that, industry should also change. Coming to the next, climate change and environmental impacts. So this is also plays a major role for a change. The impact of human activities on the environment and climate has been a long debated, but is now in essence scientifically proven. Technology, including IoT, will need to be applied to aggressively reduce the impact of human activity on the Earth system. This is a major challenge which we are facing. We are growing in a technology like this with the concrete buildings. A concrete world has been increasing, and what about a climate and what is the impact of that on a climate and environmental issues? Now, go green wherever we'll see go green concepts is there, and vertical gardening. See, even when concrete buildings, there also a research is going on like that. Vertical gardening will be there, wall gardening will be there. And you have seen, I think, you have observed students, in many places like many apartments or many offices, there will be a vertical gardening will be there. How many of you observed this? Anybody? Anybody? Anybody know what is vertical gardening? Anybody? Anybody?
Sir,
Anybody
don't
know
know
what is
what.
vertical gardening? Sahadev? Sahadev?
Don't know, sir.
Yeah, and somewhere like for a wall, they will place the plants vertically. They will maintain one garden like a thing. Did you observe?
Yes,
Rajesh?
sir.
Rajesh?
They put it
Rajesh
in
is not there
urban
in
No,
class.
houses.
sir.
Saket?
Yes, sir, ma'am.
Saket? Saket?
Sir, he is not there, sir.
Not there. Sai Siddharth? David? Anusha? Amrita?
Yes, sir.
Amrita ಇದೆಯಾ? ಅಮೃತ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಅಮೃತ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಅನುಷಾ,
Wait,
lateral entry students.
sir, I'm there.
ಹಲೋ, ಅನುಷಾನಾ?
Amrita.
ಅಮೃತ. ಅಮೃತ ಹೇಳಮ್ಮ, ವರ್ಟಿಕಲ್ ಗಾರ್ಡನ್ಸ್ ನೋಡಿದ್ಯಾ ನೀನ್ ಎಲ್ಲಾರು?
No, sir.
ನೋ. ರೈಟ್. ಇನ್ಯಾರು? ಸಾಧನಾ ಇದಾರ? ಸಾಧನಾ ಇಲ್ವಾ? ಮುರುಗೇಶ? ಮುರುಗೇಶ್? ಸರ್ಫರಾಜ್? ಸರ್ಫರಾಜ್? Manish?
Yes, sir.
Manish, did you observe somewhere?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Good,
I've
good.
seen, yes, sir.
Yes. See, nowadays, even in hotels, even in a large apartment buildings and all, and the gardening will place in a very much important role. And if you go Google, when you Google it, vertical gardening, in today trends, when you Google it, you will get a lot of information about that. So, as the technology also increasing, how we should apply the IoT technology to that. If one big vertical gardening is there, how will you put a water to that? So that is a major problem. For that, any IoT technology can be applied. So that is a one particular concept which you can think. Even you can think for a project also. Coming to next, safety and security. So now public safety and national security becomes a more urgent as society becomes more advanced, but also more vulnerable. This has to do both with reducing the fatalities with health as well as a crime prevention, and different technologies can address a number of the issues at hand. Now, for a safety and security of a country also, this IoT will help. Means you need to change to the IoT. If you apply the IoT concepts in a safety and security things, so we can track and we can identify the crimes easily with this particular technology. Next, urbanization. This is a major one concept by which the change is required. We use the dramatic increase in urban populations and discussions about the megacities. So urbanization creates an entirely new level of demands on city infrastructures. You know that how a Bangalore city in last 10 years and now how a Bangalore city is there. And now coming next 10 years, how Bangalore city is going to increase. For this particular increasing urban populations, what is the things you must need? Example, garbage management will be a major role there, and potholes management in roads. So that is another one, a very important thing where you can do projects on that also, even pothole identifications. So how potholes, where a potholes is there, So that intimations giving, and then public toilets automations. So like that, so many when urbanization is going on, cities increasing means lot of problems will be there. Coming to the electricity saving, managing like that from that stage to different aspects. Gardening is a major issue. That is also should be taken into the consideration. Parks, you know that many parks are there in a Bangalore. How to manage this particular parks, whether watering is they are doing correctly or not, whether plantation is going on correctly or not. Like that, it's not joke like that. Making a smart city, it is a huge thing in all the structures. It should be there. Starting from parking, how a parking should be there. If somebody has parked in no parking, how intimation should be given to the traffic police automatically. So this is a good experiment which you can do. Means you can one no parking board will be there usually, right? If somebody comes and parks there, you can fix one particular camera there. So where that camera will survey for 100 meters of that particular width. This is a good experiment. Somebody can choose this. So where it will take, if any vehicle is parked in that, it will take the picture of that particular vehicle where a board must be shown. This is important, where a board must be taken into consideration. Then automatically a number board. So where then that information will be sent automatically to the traffic control room. So in so and so longitude and latitude, means in so and so location of a city in no parking place, so and so number car has been parked. Then automatically fine will generate and automatically a SMS message will be sent to that person. You have parked in no parking, so 1,500 fine you have to pay. So this is a good project. Correct? No? Really, it's a good project. So like that, you can do, or why can't we adapt any device within a vehicle that when vehicle will park in that automatic no parking things, when in a no parking place, we'll keep another one equipment. If this both equipments comes within 100 meters nearby, then automatically you can get that car information already will be there in that particular device, and automatically intimation you can give. Like that, you can change even the way of the solution what you are going to give for the same problem. Like that, you can think in other, which is easier one, which is a cost effective, that thing you can take into the consideration. Coming to the next thing, so trends in information and communication technologies. Now coming to the next, the technology and the science. In that as a mega trends, so it asks the industry to change. Means it asks the system to change from one state to another state. That usually we'll call it as an ICT. Today, this ICT, many small words, this is information and communication technology, but this is playing our entire, this is ruling our entire world, I can say like that. Why I'm telling this today, rather information is ruling us, and entire industries, entire economy is depending on this particular information, and especially with this communication concepts. Now, today, sensors, actuators, and tags function as the digital interfaces to the physical world. Small scale and chip sensors and actuators provide the bridge between the physical realm and ICT systems. Now it's because of this information and communication technologies. If I place a sensor in somewhere else, actuator sensors or RFID tags, if I place somewhere else, I can track each and every my particular things easily, and connecting that to a communication system, so it becomes very easy. So tags using technologies such as RFID provide the means to put electronic identities on any object and can be cheaply produced. So these RFIDs are very cheap that you can tag anywhere, and you can keep that into the considerations. For example, I will tell you, even that sheep farming means kurikaya, sheep farmings and all in that, especially in other countries like Australia and all, they will put a tax and all. In olden days and all, they used to. When they used to make it dogs to do this particular work. But nowadays, what they are doing, they will put a tax. So wherever within that particular circumstances, within that particular area, the ship is there, they can track easily and they can bring it back. So even for cow farming like that, a big means in acres together land, they used to adopt this particular technology. That is a one thing, and even RFIDs can be used to track its particular object where it is. Embedded processing is evolving not only towards higher capabilities and processing speeds. Now there is an increase there also, but also extending towards the smallest of applications. Means it's becoming a very teeny devices, and which will do a more work. So why can't I adapt that in a regular device? So that is a major thing. So there is a growing market for a small scale embedded processing such as 8-bit, 16-bit, 32-bit microcontrollers with a on-chip RAM and flash memories is there. This and all you know. Means as a computer professional students, how it came from 1 GB RAM. Today we are using 8 GB, 16 GB of RAM systems is there, and what 2 terabytes of hard disk, more than that maybe, I think so. And then you will tell for the graphics card itself, some 4 GB or 2 GB will be there for that itself. Especially that gaming laptop. ಯಾವ್ದಪ್ಪ ಅದು? ಯಾವ್ದು gaming laptop? ಹೇಳೋ, anybody? Which is that gaming laptop? Ajay?
Yes, sir.
ಯಾವುದು ಗೇಮಿಂಗ್ ಲ್ಯಾಪ್ಟಾಪ್?
Predator.
Predator,
sir.
Predator. ಯಾವ ಕಂಪನಿ? ಯಾವ ಕಂಪನಿ?
Acer, sir.
L, sir.
Acer. ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಕಾನ್ಫಿಗರೇಷನ್ ನಾನು ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಿರುತ್ತಲ್ವಾ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ಲಿ 16 GB ರ್ಯಾಮು ಅದು ಇದು ಎಲ್ಲ. ಹಲೋ?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now coming to next, we'll go with instant access to the internet is available virtually everywhere today. So this is a major one. Why the change is occurring? Internet is available everywhere, especially in a mobiles, especially mainly thanks to wireless and cellular technologies and the rapid deployment of a cellular 3G and a 4G or long-term evolution, that is LTE systems on a global scale. With that, entire things just keep on changing. When it comes to 5G, then you can imagine what would have been. So now, just I will take a break here. I'll give one quiz. So I will give you 5 minutes time. So now it is 9:15 almost or nearer. Within a 9:20, you have to complete that. Just I'll share the link. Just a minute. Yeah. Yeah, see, I have sent, I will give you some 5 minutes time, exactly 9:15 now, 9:20, you should complete it. After my class, I will close the responses. If any problem is there, you can tell. You open that.
Sir, form is not accepting any responses.
Why? Hello? What's the problem it's telling?
It's telling it is not accepting any responses.
Oh, 1 minute. Sorry. I'll go back. 1 minute, 1 minute. Sorry, I'll send again. Yeah, open now. Yeah, now you can take. Now it's responses is open. Any problem?
No, sir.
Okay, then do it quick.
Sir,
Ah, tell
sir,
me.
same problem sir. ನಿನ್ನೆ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತೀರಾ ಈಗ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್
ಅದು
ಅಲ್ಲೇ
ನಿಮ್
ಓಪನ್
ಜಿಮೇಲ್
ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ.
ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಇದೆ ನೋಡಮ್ಮ. ಜಿಮೇಲ್ ನೀವು ಬ್ರೌಸರ್ ಬೇರೆ ಓಪನ್ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತೀರಾ.
ಇಲ್ಲ ಸರ್,
ಆ,
ನೀಟಾಗಿ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೆ.
ಅಲ್ಲಮ್ಮ, ಆ ಬ್ರೌಸರ್ಗೆ ಜಿಮೇಲ್ ಲಾಗಿನ್ ಆಗಿರಲ್ಲ ನೀವು. ಮಾಡಿ, ಜಿಮೇಲ್ ಲಾಗಿನ್ ಮಾಡಿ, ಆಗತ್ತೆ.
ಓಕೆ ಸರ್.
ಹ್ಮ್. Okay. Now we'll continue. Yeah. Now coming to the trends in information and communication technologies, continuation. So software development has started applying the web paradigm and using a service-oriented approach. This plays a very much important role. That is SO. Yeah, so this because of this service-oriented approach, especially with web paradigm. So this is another one concept which has been came and which has been made an industry still more technologized by extending the web paradigm to IoT devices. So this is the next step which is going on. So like that, how you're bringing down the web to connect to your electronic devices. If you open a ThinkSpeak, then automatically you will come to know that how you can create your own account there, and after creating your own account, how you can connect it to the sensors with the API keys. So I will give a demo in coming next chapter and all. So using that, especially it's very easy to track the sensors, actuators easily, which is there in your IoT project. That means you can connect to your IoT project with a web paradigm. They can become a natural components of building an application and facilitate any easy integration of IoT devices, services, in any enterprise systems. Yes, 100%. Wherever you will place that sensors, actuators, you can access through that web paradigm, and automatically you can store that information there in a cloud, and then that information can be used in a vast way. Why? Because as human beings, we can't extract the information from environment continuously, but that can be done by your sensors. So sensors is a one particular components where continuously it will extract the information from the environment. What's the purpose you are placed for? So IoT applications can then become a technology and programming language independent. This will help boost the IoT application development market even. So in the coming days and all, how an IoT applications will be there. So no need to program, everything is built in like that, drag and drop, like that style it will come. A key component in establishing the application development market is open APIs. This open APIs will play a very much important role. If you open a ThinkSpeak, definitely you students should open that particular ThinkSpeak. Once if you open, then you can see what is the role of APIs there, then how it is going to connect to that particular even devices through internet. Now, cloud computing allows elasticity in deployment of services and enables reaching long tail applications in a variable fashion. This we know how today the cloud is ruling entire software industry, and how vast informations we can keep there. It can be used to avoid in-house installation of server farms and associated dedicated IT services operations staff inside companies. 100%. Now server maintenance concept almost all we have forgotten. So why? Because almost all we can use a cloud Firebase. Easy students, you can use freely this Firebase. So last time when I'm in like this, through Python program can be extracted data from a website or a cloud. So when I'm doing this particular program, I googled and got a lot of information that using a Python program, how easily we can retrieve the data from a Firebase. So in a Firebase, first we should create our account, and what is the tables which we should create, that should be created, and the data will be keep on dumping either with the sensors, either with the mobile apps. So that will be there. So based on that particular data, extracting the data from a cloud, making a CSV files, and later on using for a predictions or analysis of that particular files. This plays a very major role. So which technique for predictions and all came in algorithms like that. So which machine learning algorithms you are going to adapt for a predictions and all. Today, Amazon, your Flipkart, whatever the things you will take, they are all using this particular concept. Now, cloud computing also has a benefit of easing different businesses to reconnect if they are existing on the same platform. So service level agreements can also be taken easily facilitated with the cloud. Cloud computing is also a key enabler when moving from a product oriented offering to a service oriented offering. 100% you have to move, then you have to use a cloud. So even any industry can use a cloud, and with their space in a cloud, they can see how their customers service satisfactions is there or not. So how easily they can give a service. Then you can imagine how IoT with cloud and IoT with data science. So what will be the next things for predictions also, even storing a data also, retrieving a data from there to even devices. So that plays on a very important role. So you should think on that particular trends of technology. Now, next capabilities is there. The capabilities we'll discuss in next coming class. Now, coming over here, just I want to know that. So, how many of you today's class? I told some projects. How many of you satisfied with that parking project? Anybody? 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 You can. It is open for discussion. Anybody? Anybody had this idea with you? Parking, finding a tonnage of the vehicles. So these plays are very much important. Then parking in a commercial buildings. So that is also a very much important thing which you can consider. That's another one important concept which is there. So that also you can consider. Okay. Now I'll end here. In the next class, we'll go over the capabilities. Now I'll take attendance. You have to answer the, just a minute. Answer your attendance. Aditya.
Present, sir.
Aditya.
Present, sir.
Ajay.
Yes, sir.
Amit.
Yes, sir.
Antima. Antima. Apurva.
Yes, sir.
ಏನಮ್ಮ ಅಪೂರ್ವ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿದೆಯಾ?
Yes, sir.
ಅಶ್ವಿನಿ.
Yes, sir.
ಬಿಂದು.
Yes, sir.
ದಿವ್ಯೇಶ್.
Yes, sir.
Divesh, how are you, man? Left hostel.
No, sir, I'm
Huh?
fine.
I think it's boring for you. You're not there in hostel. Huh?
No,
Huh? Gaurish?
also I'm living in my
ಗೌರೀಶ್ ಗೌರೀಶ್ ಇವನು ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ಬರಲ್ಲ, ಆನ್ಲೈನ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ಗೂ ಬರಲ್ಲ, ಮಾಮೂಲಿ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ಗೂ ಬರಲ್ಲ. ಇವೊಂದೊಂದು ಕಾಟ. ಗೌತಮಿ ಗೌತಮಿ ಇವ್ರದ್ದು ಇದೆ, ಮಾಮೂಲಿ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ಗೂ ಬರ್ತಿರ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ ಇವಮ್ಮ, ಇವಾಗ್ಲೂ ಬರ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. ಗೌತಮಿ.
ಸರ್ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಹುಷಾರಿಲ್ಲ.
ಅದೇ ಗುಣಶೇಖರ್. ಗುಣಶೇಖರ್ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಹರಿಣಿ. ಹರಿಣಿ ಯಾಕೆ ಇಷ್ಟು ಜನ ಆಬ್ಸೆಂಟು?
ಸರ್ ಗುಣಶೇಖರ್ ಇದಾನೆ.
ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಅವನು ಹೇಳಿಲ್ಲ. ಗುಣಶೇಖರ್
ಅವನದು ವಾಯ್ಸ್ ಕೇಳ್ತಿಲ್ಲ.
ಎಲ್ಲಿದಾನಮ್ಮ?
ಸರ್ ಇದಾನೆ.
ಅವ್ನ ಮೈಕ್ ಪಾಪ ಆನ್ ಆಗ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ ಸರ್.
ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಮೆಸೇಜ್ ಆಗ್ತಾವನಾ? ಚಾಟ್ ಹಾಕಕ್ ಹೇಳು ಮೆಸೇಜು. ಆಗ್ಲೇ 38 ಜನಕ್ಕೆ ಇಳಿದಿದ್ದೀರಾ. ಹರಿಣಿ. ಹರಿಣಿ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಸೂರ್ಯ.
ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಸರ್.
ಓಡಿಸ್ಬಿಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಅವಾಗ್ಲೇ 3 ಸಲ ಕರೆದಿದ್ದೀನಿ, ಇಲ್ಲ ನೀನು ಇವಾಗ ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಹೇಳಕ್ ಬಂದಿದೀಯಪ್ಪ. ಇವಾಗ ಇದ್ರ ಸರ್?
ನೋಡ್ತಿದ್ದೀನಿ ಸರ್, ಯಾಕೆ ಹೂ ಇಡ್ತಿದ್ದೀರಾ?
ಬಾರಿಸ್ತೀನಿ. ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಅಟೆಂಡ್ ಆಗೋ. ನಯನಾ. ನಜ್ಮಾ.
ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಸರ್.
ನಿಧಿ. ನಿಧಿ. ಪ್ರದೀಪ್. ಪ್ರದೀಪ.
Sir.
ಪ್ರೀತಿ.
Present, sir.
ರಾಜೇಶ್.
Yes, sir.
ಸಹದೇವ್.
Present, sir.
साकेत. साकेत स्टार्टिंग 2 दिन आता है फिर नहीं आता है भी. संतोष. ಸಂತೋಷ್ ಪಾಪ ಎದ್ದಿರಲ್ಲ ಇವನಿನ್ನು. ಸೀಮಾ.
Yes, sir.
ಸಿಂಚನ
Yes, sir.
ಅಮ್ಮ ಏನ್ ಮಲಗಿದ್ದಮ್ಮ? ಸಿಂಚನ
ಇಲ್ಲ ಸರ್.
ಜೋರಾಗಿ ಹೇಳು ಮತ್ತೆ. ಸ್ಫೂರ್ತಿ ಸ್ಫೂರ್ತಿ ಶಶಾಂಕ್
Present, sir.
ವರ್ಷ
Present, sir.
ಯಶಸ್ವಿನಿ
Present, sir.
ಅಮೃತ
Present, sir.
ಅನುಷಾ
Present, sir.
ಅಪೂರ್ವ
Present, sir.
ಆಗ್ಲೇ ಕರೆದ್ರೆ ಇರ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಸಾಯಿ ಸಿದ್ಧಾರ್ಥ್ ಚೇತನ
Present, sir.
ಕಾವ್ಯ ಮಧುಶ್ರೀ
Present, sir.
ಮನೀಶ್
Present, sir.
ಸರ್ಫರಾಜ್ ಮುರುಗೇಶ ಮುತ್ತಮಣಿ
Yes, sir.
ಎಸ್ ಸರ್. ಪರೇಶ್
Present, sir.
ಪೂಜಾ
Present, sir.
ಪರೇಶ್ ಏನಾ ಮನೆಯಲ್ಲೇ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ ನೀವೆಲ್ಲ?
ಹ್ಞೂ ಸರ್,
ಪರೇಶ್
ಮನೇಲಿ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ ಸರ್.
ಎಲ್ಲೂ ಓಡಾಡ್ಬೇಡ್ರಪ್ಪ. ಅವನೆಲ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ನೊಬ್ಬ ಆ ಶಶಾಂಗು ತಿರ್ಗಾಡ್ಬಾರ್ದು,
ಇದಾರೆ ಸರ್.
ಕೊರೋನಾ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಆಚೆ ಎಲ್ಲೂ ಟ್ರಿಪ್ಗಳು ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಡ್ರಪ್ಪ. ಟ್ರಿಪ್ಗಳು ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಡಿ ಎಲ್ಲೋ. ಪ್ರಶಾಂತ ಅವ್ನ್ ಸೂರ್ಯನ್ ಜೊತೆ ಸೇರ್ಬೇಡ್ರಿ ಫಸ್ಟ್. ಪ್ರಶಾಂತ್
Present, sir.
ಪ್ರತಿಭಾ
Present, sir.
ಪ್ರತೀಕ್ ಸಾಧನಾ ಶಶಾಂಕ್
Present, sir.
ಅವನಪ್ಪ. ಎಲ್ಲೂ ಹೋಗೋಣ, ಮನೆಯಲ್ಲೇ ಇರೋ. ಶ್ರದ್ಧಾ
Present, sir.
ಶ್ರೀಧರ್
Present, sir.
ತನೋಜ್
Present, sir.
ಏನಪ್ಪ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿದೀಯಾ? ಇರೋ. ಅವನಪ್ಪ. ತೇಜಸ್ವಿನಿ
Present, sir.
ಹನಿ డేవిడ్
Present, sir.
అప్పుడే పిలిస్తే ఉండలేదు డేవిడ్.
Sir, network problem, sir.
విద్య
Present, sir.
విశాల్
Present, sir.
గుడ్. ఓకే, థ్యాంక్ యూ వెరీ మచ్. బాయ్.
Bye.
Sir,
ಹ್ಮ್
ಮುರುಗೇಶ್
ಹೇಳಮ್ಮ.
ಮತ್ತೆ ಗುಣಶೇಖರ್ ಮೆಸೇಜ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ.
ಗುಣಶೇಖರ್ದು ಹಾಕಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಇನ್ಯಾರು? ಮುರುಗೇಶ್ ಏನ್ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್? ಮೈಕ್
Mic
ನಾಟ್
not
ವರ್ಕಿಂಗ್.
working.
ಸರಿ, ಹಾಕ್ತೀನಿ ಬಿಡಮ್. ಓಕೆ, ಡನ್.
Sir.
ಆಯ್ತಮ್ಮ, ಬಾಯ್.